Hi, my name's Jarrett Hartman. I'm a small business owner located in Orlando, Florida. So I work with bookkeeping and payroll and tax. I'm the owner of SMB Bookkeeping, and I work with small and medium-sized businesses. I wanted to review today QuickBooks Online Payroll, which is, in my opinion, the best payroll software that there is. There's a lot of really good features. I prefer QuickBooks Online Payroll over Paychex or ADP. Small and medium-sized businesses, 5 to 10 employees, 10, 50, 100 or more employees. QuickBooks Online Payroll is my preferred recommended payroll, and it's one of the best features in the QuickBooks Online software. So the first step would be signing up for QuickBooks Online. If someone hasn't signed up before, I'll include a link in the video description down below to click on to visit my website, where I'll have a link to my wholesale web link. I am a wholesaler for the software, and it'll be included in the video description below. So I'll include that link in the video description below to click on. It'll take you to my website. On my website, I have a web page with the wholesale link to get that 30% off for 12 months, plus the first month free. So QuickBooks Online generally offers 50% off for 3 months plus the first month free, but through a wholesaler like SMB Bookkeeping, if you click on that link, you're able to set up an account, try it risk-free. It won't ask for credit card or billing information, so it'll allow the full software to be used for 30 days. For that first month, and then instead of the 30% off, instead of the 50% off for 3 months, it'll be 30% off for a full 12 months, a full year. It's a good discount there. So if a business already has QuickBooks Online set up, you can skip to this time frame in the video. I'll include that, so you don't go through the setup of the QuickBooks Online account. But for someone who's new to the software and just getting set up, we'll just select a software. I generally tend to recommend QuickBooks Online Essentials. It's the software I find that has all of the basic features that the operational businesses are going to need. So I'm going to select that for today. We'll select try it for free. I'm going to enter information to get the account set up. If someone has set up a QuickBooks Online account in the past, if they enter that email address here, it will associate it to the old account. So we'll just need to use a new email address. Okay, so here in the sign up screen, I've entered my email address. I've auto-generated a very complex password that the system will save here locally, and I'm just going to enter my my contact number, and I'm going to select create account. Okay, so I've the system sent me a 6-digit verification code, that multi-factor authentication. That is one of the good aspects of QuickBooks Online, is it does use that same encryption as online banking, and it always includes those multi-factor passwords. So here I'm just going to get set up. It's going to ask me a few general questions. We'll say, let's get started here. It's going to ask a few questions about the business. We'll be ABC Consulting, LLC. And we'll select next there. It'll ask, have we used QuickBooks in the past? I'm going to say no, QuickBooks previously. I'm new here. So if we use QuickBooks Desktop or another process for keeping income and expenses, an Excel workbook, for example, might be best to work with a bookkeeper and an accountant just to sort of touch base, make sure we're getting things set up from the beginning correctly and accurately. Oftentimes, it's a lot better process to set up the business accurately from the beginning versus going back later and making those changes. Let's see, we'll say marketing, other management consulting. Business type, again, this was a good idea to speak with a licensed tax professional. For example, myself. or another someone that the business may know, to review those aspects. Annual revenue, we'll say less than, because we're just getting started here. So that's just general information about the business. Here we'll select owner or partner. How many employees? We'll say 2 to 5 for now, because I do want to review payroll for the business owner versus payroll for a non-business owner employee. Very good. These will help your business. Yep. Personalize your invoices. Yep. How to start paying your team. We'll select that. Learn how to start paying yourself and your team. We'll do that first. This video is for payroll today. I also did want to show my QuickBooks Online payroll hoodie here that I have, that QuickBooks Online sent me for being one of the first 100 bookkeepers or accountants. I forget what they call us these days. For being one of the first 100 accountants or bookkeepers in the USA to complete the new QuickBooks payroll certification that they came out with a year or two ago. I think I was one of the first handful. So for now, we're going to say not right now to set up payroll. It is offering a free 30-day trial. I'm going to select not right now. That way we can see the full options for the payroll. We'll skip for now. Yep, we'll skip for now. And it would be recommended to also include my email on the video, and I'll include my email address in the video description. It would be recommended to send over an email, and I can email my contact with QuickBooks Online just to make sure that you're receiving the wholesale pricing on the payroll software as well, which is 30% off as well. It says ongoing. That could change, but it's 30% off ongoing, so it's a good discount. Okay, here we have the home screen, the dashboard, and I'm going to go through those payroll setup steps as well. Next, looks like it's just finishing uploading that page. And I'll, if I receive an email or a direct message, I typically respond same day. So it's a pretty quick process to get that wholesale pricing for the payroll. Definitely want the wholesale pricing for the payroll. It's 30% off. It's a good benefit. Okay, so now we have the QuickBooks Online account set up. We have the dashboard. We're ABC Consulting LLC today. This is going to allow us to go through the full demo of payroll. If the business previously had a payroll or a QuickBooks Online account set up, that's okay. We can start from here to see those steps. But those are the steps to set up the new QuickBooks Online account. Okay, so we're set up with the QuickBooks Online account. I'm here on the dashboard. I do want to point out one or two important key features. This gear icon in the upper right-hand corner, this is going to be the account settings, and this is what we're going to do, set up all of the account settings and do all of the features to customize and set up the account. We can sign up for services through subscription and billing. I did want to bring the viewer's attention to the left side under your company. We have account and settings, and that's the primary settings. We'll be visiting that next. And here under manage users, we can select manage users. We'll see the users who are authorized to access the QuickBooks Online account and authorized to access different features in the account. We'll see here the email address, my contact email from my website that I used to set up the demo account today. We can edit, change features, add users. I wanted to bring your attention to this next tab, this accounting firms tab. So just here in this accounting firms tab, we can invite a firm. So for example, if someone's watching the video, wants to work with me, my services are free for the first 30 days. So no cost to get set up, get everything going in the right direction and orientated. So here we can enter an email address, or we can enter my the bookkeeper or accountant's firm ID. This is my wholesale ID, and I'm going to go ahead and enter this here just so for anybody, so they have that. I'll include it on the video as well, and I'll include it in the video description as well below. Okay, so I've entered the SMB bookkeeping wholesale account ID. So here in this window here, you'll see the SMB bookkeeping account wholesale ID number. I'll include that in the video and also in the video description below. I do typically recommend using the wholesale account firm ID number. The email address I use today is not my secure business email address. You can send your accountant an email, but I tend to recommend the wholesale account ID. That way we make sure we're getting that wholesale pricing and those other features. So I'm going to select save here down at the bottom, and that's going to send a message to the accountant firm, the bookkeeping wholesale ID. They'll be able to accept that. For example, it would send me a message. I'd receive an alert on my mobile device, an email, and I would be able to log in, and that would give me access to the books. I can help out making sure things are set up, squared away, and good to go with the payroll. And from there, I'm just going to revisit one additional item here in the upper right-hand corner, that gear icon. I'm going to select Accountant Settings. Okay, so here in Accountant Settings, we can add information for the business, business address, website, those details. We can select the business type, EIN number. SMB bookkeeping does help for no cost with getting set up with LLCs, and also the tax advisory services are no cost to review the steps and advice on entity election and setting up the EIN number. It only takes about 15 minutes to set up an EIN number through the EIN website. But it is important to be familiar with those steps as we're going through and setting up the EIN tax ID number, those different steps and pages there that we'll review, that are reviewed. But that information is able to be updated there. And we have other settings as well. For now, though, I'm going to go ahead and select Done for now. That's going to close settings. I'm going to select Dashboard to revisit the QuickBooks Online dashboard. And I'm going to select, now I'm going to begin to set up the payroll. So here in the upper right-hand corner, we'll see subscriptions and billing. And we'll notice that the QuickBooks Online hasn't asked for any billing information. So we have the software. We're able to use it for a full month before it'll ask for any billing details, which is helpful. So we're able to get everything set up and going in the right direction. We'll see the wholesale pricing there was included, which is very helpful. Here in the upper right-hand corner, or rather, bill to your accountant. Let's see. Yep, as we scroll down, we'll see Discover More. We'll see QuickBooks Payroll here. Okay, so these are the details for the QuickBooks Online Payroll. Here it is offering 50% off for 3 months. I would recommend sending me over a DM, direct message, comment below the video, send me an email, and I'll reach out to my wholesale contact with QuickBooks. I am a QuickBooks Online wholesaler, and I'll be able to update that typically same day, by the next day. Get that updated to from 50% off for 3 months to update it to the wholesale discount, which is 30% off for 12 months, for 12 full months. So that can be very helpful. For now, we're going to select the lowest tier of QuickBooks Online Payroll, which is going to be this core here. That'll allow us to get everything set up for now, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've entered our credit card billing information for the payroll module, the payroll features, or we've contacted our bookkeeper or accountant to ensure we have the wholesale billing price, or we've contacted SMB Bookkeeping directly to confirm we got that wholesale payroll price set up. Again, the SMB services are all free for the first month, so there's not going to be charges. By the time there is any services that are paid for services, typically the first month of payroll, the first month of bookkeeping services are completed at no cost. So here in the payroll feature, we're simply going to select Get Started. It's going to begin to ask us questions about the business, and we'll be able to start entering those general details. So this is a good item to review in the beginning. Were employees paid in 2025? So the software is asking, did we process payroll in paychecks in ADP for first, second, or third quarter, and are we just changing over? If that's the case, the prior data is required to be entered into the current payroll software. Regardless of what software a business may be changing from or to, that prior information has to be entered into the new software for payroll. It's very important that all the numbers and the amounts carry over. They affect a lot of different things on the payroll tax filings and reports and other items. If we do have payroll in another payroll processor, another payroll software, typically best recommendation to reach out to an accountant, reach out to a bookkeeper, reach out to SMB bookkeeping to help make sure that's accurate. Again, no cost for the first 30 days with first month with SMB. But for now, I'm going to select no. So we're starting with a fresh payroll account. It'll ask what our first payday is. Let's see. We'll typically say Friday. Friday, first week of Friday. Yep. And that's a good pay date to begin with. And it'll confirm business details. Yep. Okay, so now I'm simply going to select over here on the left side now that we have payroll. I'm going to select that payroll taxes tab. And we're going to update one setting here in the payroll taxes tab. We'll select, automated taxes are on. That's the setting we're going to revisit. We'll select that pencil icon there to edit the setting. And this will load the payroll tax settings. We're going to turn off the automated payroll settings. That's because we're working in a live QuickBooks Online account. We're going through the demo. It's a demo video. However, we are working in a live QuickBooks Online account, so we don't want anything to be automatically sent or transmitted. The automated taxes and forms, this is one of the best parts about the QuickBooks Online payroll software. And what it is there's a dedicated team at Intuit QuickBooks that works specifically on payroll. And that team behind the scenes, as you're making changes, as you're running payroll, as you're doing things in the software, that team behind the scene is reviewing things, helping to make sure things are filed on time, make sure payroll tax remittances are submitted and filed on time, those due dates are met. There's a lot going on there behind the scenes that team's working on. It seems like a lot of the time the software is just sort of doing this automated process, which is very helpful. And that automated taxes and forms is very good. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to uncheck that. I will initiate payments and filings manually myself, which is how payroll used to be done back in the good old days before the automation was really added. So yep, we're going to turn off automation and taxes and forms. Yep. And I'm just going to briefly review these other items. Auto payroll, that's just going to auto run payroll. That's not going to file taxes and forms. Very good. It's not turned on. Yep. This is where we would add that EIN number, tax ID number. Again, it's important to go through those EIN steps. It takes about 15 minutes to go through the EIN website steps, but it's very important on the separate tabs of that website to ensure that we're making the accurate selections. Also for the Florida tax ID number, which is the state that SMB bookkeeping is located in, or in your state, any state, the business is able to contact the State Department of Revenue and quickly get that unemployment insurance rate and account number. And if the state does have income tax, there's 7 states in the U.S. that don't have income tax. And in those 43 states, there will be also a state withholding tax ID number to go along with the UI number. A few other preferences and notification preferences can be added here, but for the purposes of the video, we've turned off automated taxes and forms. Yep, we'll select done for now. Okay, and now we can revisit the setup in the payroll. Okay, now we can revisit the payroll overview tab, and we'll see that that workflow one more time. Those last steps to set up the payroll. So this next step is going to be tell us about your team. So this is where we're going to begin to enter employee information, which is very helpful. It'll ask if we want to bring in from another payroll software. I'm going to add the team manually, which is most common. Yep, we'll select add an employee just there. Who's your new team member? Yep, I'm going to add John Smith for now. Smith 123 at yahoo.com if they're still around. We'll say the hire date was the beginning of the month. We'll say November 1st. And this is helpful. Employee self-onboard. I do tend to select this employee self-onboard here. So this is going, if we select employee self-onboard, we'll click add an employee. John, our new employee, is going to receive an email with a link to his email address. For payroll, he's going to click on that link. It's going to ask John to set up his own secure login to the payroll dashboard, where John is able to log in, fill out, W-4 forms, fill out I-9 forms, make elections for withholding, add deductions, those standard items, and to change those items as well, and also to add direct deposit, change, update direct deposit, add home address, change and edit home address. At the end of the year, once payroll is finalized, QuickBooks Online is going to, monthly QuickBooks Online is going to email John his pay stubs, and he'll have access to those as well through the login. And at the end of the year, QuickBooks Online is going to email W-2s, and John is able to log in, access those W-2s. So we're not contacting the employer. Hey, I need my pay stub. I need my W-2s. Those types of questions. If we select add employee, it's going to send that email link out. For now, I'm going to select enter their info myself, just to go through those steps, just so you can kind of see what the employee is going through, and also if we need to add an employee manually as well. It'll take just a second there for that next window to load. Okay, so this is the employee dashboard. We can go through and edit. We can change phone number, home address, tax ID number, date of birth. Those items are important. Gender as well. Employee details, those details that will be included internally, the employee's manager, employee ID. Withholding here, we can have the employee fill out a W-4 or let us know their withholding information. Payment method, paper check versus direct deposit. For today, I'm going to select paper check for the demo, just because we don't want to be transmitting anything. Yep, we can set up time off policies, paid time off, non-paid time off, emergency contact, those helpful details. All right, so base pay, I'm going to select. This is the software may at times ask exempt versus non-exempt, which is hourly or salary. And I did also visit AI to review the Fair Labor Standards Act. And very simply, non-exempt employees must receive overtime pay. So non-exempt are non-salary employees, and if they work 40 hours or more, they receive that time and a half. Some states like California have some additional requirements as well. And exempt employees are salary. So if we are exempt, if we work over that 40-hour time frame, generally no time and a half, and typically benefits and other PTO are associated with exempt employees in most cases. Yep. So here in the QuickBooks Online software, I'm going to select hourly for our employee John. We'll say his base rate is $33 an hour. We'll say we work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and that's just going to help the software sort of keep track of what the payroll should be and sort of help with prompting and automation. Good details as well, just to have saved. Yep. So I have additional information here for the employee. It looks like it's requesting employee address, so I'm just going to add the first automated address that pops up. Yep, that's a good automated address there. and it appears it's requesting tax ID number. So I'm going to add 999999999. That is a standard QuickBooks demo account number that they typically use. I'm going to select save and close here. Oh, date of birth. So we'll say date of birth is 01/15/1965. Okay, so next is going to be to review employment details. So it looks like it has a little exclamation point there. So we'll review those employment details as well. And it's going to request that we update pay schedule. So typically for a non-business owner employee, oftentimes it's every other Friday, every 2 weeks. Let's see, that's every Friday. Every Friday is fine. We'll leave it there for now. If we change it to every other week or every other Friday, it'll update these pay periods automatically. That's also the software just being helpful and adding that helpful automation. Okay, for additional pay types, I am going to revisit additional pay types, and these are good to review. We can add, for example, add, for example, S corporation owners health insurance, which is an important one for the business owner / employee. I'll make a standalone video for that topic. Cash tips bonus is very common as well. If we're running a payroll at the end of the year, we may be bonusing or grossing up the payroll just to make sure that we're meeting requirements for the business. So for deductions and contributions, this is a good tab to review as well. So we'll briefly add a deduction. For example, we'll add health insurance. For example, we'll add medical insurance. Description, we'll call that general health insurance for the employee. We'll say it's a flat amount. We'll say $250. For example, perhaps we have an agreement with our plan where the employee pays $250. Pre-tax, post-tax, that's an item to review with your bookkeeper or accountant or tax professional. And company contributions, we'll say the company's contribution is $500 in the agreement. And we'll click save and close. And for garnishments, different businesses have different items going on in their payroll. Some businesses may have a garnishment, perhaps a leaner levy or child support requirement that's required to be added to the payroll. Those can be entered there. Okay, I did want to revisit one additional item for our non-exempt, non-salary or hourly worker, John Smith. So I did want to revisit an additional deduction, so we can select edit just there, and we'll be able to add a deduction or contribution, and we'll add a deduction for a retirement plan. We'll add a 401k, and we'll just call it general 401k. QuickBooks Online does help with setting up retirement plans. Also, banks, highly regulated institutions are able to help with setting up those accounts, those plans for the business. But for payroll, we're just going to enter in the details for payroll. Typically, it's a percentage of gross pay. Often, it's very commonly 6%, and typically there is an employer match, which is typically 3%. So we're just going to add that here quickly, just to add. So we have a retirement and a health insurance deduction. And I did want to revisit the employee overview profile tab one additional time for our non-exempt, non-salary employee, John. So I did want to revisit time off here. I'm going to select start, and we're going to update the the vacation and time off policies. So we can add vacation policy. We can say we can add a vacation policy. Pretty helpful. The time off as well. We can select add new paid time off policy, and we'll just call this general PTO, and we'll say each beginning of the year the employee receives 40 hours, so that's 1 week a year, and we'll say the max is 40. So that gives each employee an allotment of 40 hours a year, 1 week of paid time off. So as we enter PTO in the pay periods, we'll see it will reduce it from the total accrual for the year. Same for sick time. Add a new sick policy. We'll call this general sick time. And we'll say similarly at the beginning of the year, the employees receive 40 hours as well. We'll say the max is 40. So that's 2 weeks of paid time off for the year. We'll select save. That'll update that so that we can enter that into the payroll run as we're running payroll. And that will also give us our PTO, paid time off, and sick time reports will be updated. I am going to go through and I am going to enter an additional employee. So we'll select add an employee. This will be an owner / employee of the business. We'll say Dave Smith, and Dave Smith 123 at Yahoo. And hire date we'll say as well. We'll say the hire date's going to be January of the current year. Would be more common. We'll say enter info myself. Yep. And for this employee, I'm going to enter an other deduction for creating a zero net check. So at the end of the year, fairly common as we go through the tax planning year-end review process, that we may need to gross up the payroll or run a bonus. Something very common with the businesses I work with. They'll most likely be familiar with that process. A few items for creating a zero net check. Most commonly, it's to designate an entire paycheck for income tax so that we're grossing up the payroll, we're meeting those requirements. We could also put an entire paycheck to a retirement plan, and also sometimes a gift. That's less common. Okay, so we're going to say our business owner, Dave, is salary. So we'll add a salary here. We'll say it's going to be per year. We'll say $45,000. Yep. And we'll add that pay type. And it will have us add payment method. And we'll select paper check as well, just so we're not transmitting anything in the demo account. Okay, so for Dave, our business owner / employee of the S Corporation, we are going to add, let's see, QuickBooks Online will have us add an other earnings pay type. So here an additional pay type, we'll add other earnings. Other earnings, pay type. And this will be other earnings. So yep, other earnings pay type. And for now, I'm going to add it as a $0 amount. Yep. Once we go to run payroll, we'll revisit this tab to update that so that we have a zero net check. Yep, we'll select save just there. And we'll see our two employees. So we'll have John and Dave. Dave being the owner / employee. Yep. We'll select done just there. Okay, we'll continue to payroll setup. There's a few additional items to review for the business in the payroll module. So the last step here in the workflow and the setup is going to be connect your bank account. We can select there. It'll go through the steps to connect the business's checking account, provide those details with the bank, and it will complete that step. For taxes, we'll select just here, enter tax information. Again, that'll be that federal tax ID number, the EIN number. It takes about 15 minutes to visit the EIN website and request an EIN number. And typically you'll receive that number within an hour to the same day. Some of those steps on the website, it's good to be careful to accurately select each step on each tab of that website. So definitely reach out to your bookkeeper, your accountant. SMB bookkeeping is available for no cost to get those items set up. Yep. And step 3 here, we can add a workers' comp policy if we have one. If not, QuickBooks Online will help with a quote. Explore 401k plans. If not, QuickBooks Online can help with 401k and retirement plans. And same for employee health. We can check out employee health plans as well. I'm going to go ahead and select Run Payroll. So we'll see Employees tab. And then we'll go ahead and select the Payroll Overview tab, and that will allow us to select that Run Payroll. So we have our non-exempt, non-salary employee, John Smith. He has deductions for health insurance and retirement. And we have our salary or exempt employee / business owner, Dave Smith, who we're going to run a payroll at the end of the year to gross up or bonus the payroll to make sure that we're meeting business requirements. Okay, so now I'm simply going to select Pay My Team just to begin that first payroll run. And yep, it'll confirm no pay history for 2025. That's important. The payroll is cumulative throughout the year. Payrolls from January 1st to December 31st, independent of whether or not the business has a calendar year or a fiscal year accounting and tax reporting year. If we do have prior payroll history, it is important to enter that payroll history so that the numbers and the math and the amounts are accumulating accurately throughout the year. If we do have prior payroll history, certainly important step to work with a bookkeeper or an accountant to make sure that that's set up accurately and correctly. For here, we'll say I don't have any pay history in this example. So here, the software is processing our standard 40-hour week and our standard week of pay for our salaried employee as well. So I'm simply going to select Preview Payroll. It's going to give me a really helpful payroll details preview. It's going to go through all of the amounts. It's asking us to select a chart of account. So I'll select the drop down just there. I'm going to add a new bank account, and I'm going to add a payroll bank account. It's okay to have the payroll drafted from the business checking account as well, but I'm going to add a payroll checking account. And I always tend to recommend to add that account number, the last 4 at least, for many reasons. Yep, it'll be a big account. That'll be checking. Yep. And we'll simply select Save just there. Okay, so we'll see here on the Run Payroll screen, we have our payroll set up for our exempt and non-exempt employees. We have the salary for our business owner / employee, and we're going to adjust the salary there for our business owner / employee. It's one of the 52 weeks, 1/52nd portion of the yearly salary. We're going to select Edit Paycheck, and I'm going to make an adjustment here to our general zero net check adjustment deduction that we added. And I am simply going to update the amount. This was the net check, $734.54. And I'm going to add to it the federal withholding that it's also taking out, $799.18. And what we'll see is when I select Save, it will adjust the zero net check so that only the payroll tax deposits, the taxes, will draft from the bank account or will be included in the payroll. This is very similar to taking the money out of the business bank account, moving it to the personal bank account for that net amount, and then taking the money back from the personal bank account back into the business account, and sort of just skipping that middle step there. A lot of accountants or bookkeepers will say this is moving money from the left pocket to the right pocket and back from the right pocket to the left pocket. However, effectively, it is a zero net paycheck. And I'm just going to select save here. We'll see our zero net pay there. That agrees. Select that save button. And we'll see the taxes are still being calculated. For example, I'm going to revisit that edit paycheck. Just here, we'll see the gross paycheck for one of the 52 weeks is $865.38. We'll multiply that by 0.145, which is the Medicare payroll tax rate. So we get $12.55. So we'll see that does agree. We have an employee portion and we have an employer portion. And so we have that employee portion and that employer portion for the payroll taxes, $865.38, 65.38 times 0.062. So this will be the Social Security portion of the payroll taxes. That's $53.65. Again, we have the employee portion and the employer portion. The two employee portions of Social Security Medicare, those are referred to as FICA. The two employer portions of Social Security Medicare are also FICA. FICA is an act that was passed around the time, very close to the Fair Labor Standards Act. So as well in dealing with exempt and non-exempt employees. So those agree and tie out, and we still have our zero net paycheck. We're running our 1 week out of the 52 weeks of the year for our salary. So everything's going to tie out. Yep, very good. I'm going to select preview payroll here. And I'm going to select that payroll checking account. We'll see it is set up as a paper check. We can always revisit that to update it to direct deposit. But for demo purposes, we'll see that paper check. We will see the employee will receive their standard net payroll, and the business owner, the business owner will have a wash on their pay. It'll be net pay of 0, which is very standard for the business owner. So I'm going to select submit payroll here. That's going to finalize the payroll, and we'll go through some of those reports to see how the taxes and the payroll is reported in QuickBooks Online. Yep, very good. So here we can print the payroll checks. So for $50 or $100, QuickBooks Online offers stationery to include payroll checks. So the payroll checks that you can print, they do have special characteristics that allow the mobile deposit for payroll checks, those types of features. But we can select print check there. We can print the pay stubs as well. That'll load those pay stubs. We can download the reports here in Excel, take those out to Excel, those types of items. Yep. So I'm going to, we can set up paycheck printing there. That's helpful. There's also some steps in there when we set up that paycheck printing. It'll have us test a paycheck or two, and then we can select an icon and we can move it down, we can move it left, so that we're getting the payroll to print right on the line, so that the payroll check looks professional and good. I'm going to select close for now. We'll set up those tasks later. That allows us to run the payroll for the demo for today. So now I would like to run the profit and loss report and the balance sheet report here, just to see how those amounts are reported in QuickBooks Online. So we'll select accounting just there. We'll select we'll select reports and standard reports. QuickBooks Online just changed their dashboard and their links at the end of July. We're in October of 2025, so about 2-3 months ago. They moved around some of these icons, but we'll select profit and loss just there. We'll do this current year to date, and we'll change over to cash for now, just to review how the amounts are reported on the balance sheet. Let's see. 11/4. Let's change that out to 11/7. I believe that was our payroll date. Yep, There's our payroll for the 7th. It's all prepared and ready to go. So we have our health insurance deduction, our retirement contribution, our payroll taxes. Okay, so we'll see here on the profit and loss report, we'll see the wages and the taxes. We'll see the wages will agree to the W-2, which also agrees to the 941 payroll tax returns, which also flow through to the business tax filing. We'll see those taxes as well. We'll see the employer taxes there, which are deduction on the profit and loss report in the current year. And I'm also going to review the balance sheet report as well. And I'm going to review that balance sheet year to date through the 7th, through the end of the week when the payroll was processed. Yep. So I am going to review the balance sheet on a cash basis. I'll make another video at another time for payroll tax accruals, which can be very helpful. But effectively, we'll see the net check cleared the bank account there. In our demo account, we haven't made any bank deposits, so there's no cash flow in the bank account. But we'll see the amount cleared the bank there. That's why we're showing a negative balance. We'll see our payroll taxes there. 941 is the most standard for most businesses. 943 if we're operating a farm. 944 if we have very little payroll under a certain amount. So we'll see those FICA taxes there that we reviewed. We'll see our liability for the retirement plan remittance. When we go through and write that retirement plan remittance, we'll choose this general ledger account, so that'll offset that liability. Same for the health insurance deduction. This is the zero net check that we entered the deduction for. We would adjust that to an equity account. Part of those standard year-end adjustments. I'm also going to review payroll reports, which are very helpful in the QuickBooks Online software. I'm going to scroll down here until we see those payroll reports. Paycheck history, yep. Payroll tax liability is going to be one of the most important reports to review. I typically click that star button. That'll add it up here to the very, very top there, which is always helpful. Payroll tax liability report, that's going to show us our liabilities. This is the report we would use at the end of the year to make payroll tax accruals, which I'll make a subsequent video for. And we'll see those taxes here. We'll see our federal income tax, that's our withholding. We'll see our FICA taxes, Social Security, Medicare tax, federal state unemployment as well, those amounts there. And there's a few other helpful payroll tax reports that are good to review. I'm just going to scroll back down there to payroll again. And employee details is helpful. That's going to show all the details for each employee. Payroll details is helpful for the business. It's going to really break down all of the details. If we do add PTO, paid time off, or sick leave, those can accrue during the year. We can select vacation and sick leave reports to see where the employees are. Very helpful information, very helpful information. So I did want to visit a few additional helpful items here in the QuickBooks Online software for payroll. So I'm going to revisit my apps there and payroll overview. Yep. And I'm also going to revisit employees down here under team. Here we can always invite to workforce. So if we set up an employee manually, or perhaps the employee didn't receive the email or they lost the email, it's always okay to revisit. Just here, we can invite or send out another invitation to the employee. They'll get that email. It'll include an invitation with a link to click on to log in, set up the employee login. They'll be able to access pay stubs. They'll be able to access W-2s at the end of the year. They'll be able to make changes to withholding, W-4 forms. They'll be able to update direct deposit, those items as well. And I'm also going to select one employee here to visit one additional item here. Okay, so here on the employee overview, we can see the first tab is the profile, where we can set up deductions and those items. The next tab is going to be the paycheck list. So that's the paychecks that we've previously run. Here in documents, we'll see that W-4, the employee's tax deductions. We can also upload documents there for document storage, I-9 for example. We have a place to add notes, and under permissions, we'll see send reminder. So if we've sent a reminder to QuickBooks Workforce, or if we've sent an invitation, we can send a reminder saying, oh, hey, employee John Smith, don't forget to log in and set up the QuickBooks Workforce. The employee is able to download the app directly to their mobile device. They can also use time tracking in Workforce, in addition to viewing pay stubs and W-2 and updating direct deposit and other information. So we can do time tracking there. It'll geolocate the employee, so we can see, oh, that employee's working from their location they typically work from, or they're working from another location, or we can see if it's maybe a location that would be unexpected. And we can also view a video here, which is helpful to go through those mobile app.
If your company uses
items.
QuickBooks Time, you can use the QuickBooks Workforce mobile app to track and manage time on the go. Let's go over how to enter your time, request time off, view your schedule, review your paychecks and tax forms, and more in the Workforce mobile app. If you don't already have it, you can find and download the Workforce mobile app from the App Store or Google Play Store. Then sign in. To track your time, tap Track Time. Under the Track Time tab, you can select the customer or job you are tracking time for, as well as add any other applicable information and notes. Then tap Clock In. At any point during the day, if you need to switch to a different job or task, tap Switch. Fill out any needed information, then tap Save.
That's helpful for job costing, job A versus job B, or customer A versus customer B.
If it's time to take a break, tap Break. Then select a break type, like lunch break. When your break is over, tap End Break to clock back into your current job. When you have finished working, tap Clock Out. If you want to view your past timesheets, manually create a new time entry, or delete a timesheet, you can tap on the Timesheets tab. From here, you can select the 3 dots in the top right corner to add a timesheet. Or choose a previous time entry from the list and tap the 3 dots in the top right corner to add a break to that shift or delete the entry. To view if you have any upcoming shifts, go to Schedule on the bottom navigation menu. If you have a shift that starts within the next 15 minutes, you can clock into it from here. From the More menu, you can tap the Time Off option to manage your time off entries, or view your current time off balances. Here you can submit a time off request by tapping the plus icon in the bottom right corner. To complete the request, select which type you're using, such as holiday or sick time. Pick the applicable date and number of hours you will be using, and add any necessary notes before selecting Send Request. If you are paid via QuickBooks Payroll, you can also view your paychecks under the Money tab. By tapping on the Money tab, you can see a list of all of your previous paychecks, and tap on each one to view your paycheck details. Additionally, for those paid through QuickBooks Payroll, you can see your W-2s directly in the app by going to the More tab and tapping the Taxes option. For added convenience, there is now a live activity widget available to use with the Workforce app. This widget will show you a running timer of how long you have been clocked into a shift or break, and allows you to take breaks and clock out directly from your lock screen with one tap. Now you know how to manage your time entries, review paychecks, and more with your QuickBooks Workforce mobile app.
Very helpful, very good information to review. And again, very user-friendly. Small and medium-sized businesses are going to be able to really make the most out of QuickBooks Online Payroll. It's the best. Very helpful, in my honest opinion, compared to Paychex or ADP. It's best for the business to be running the payroll, sort of taking over that HR function. It's much more affordable, or working with a bookkeeper or payroll, or a bookkeeper or accountant to make sure those items are squared away for the year. Thanks for reviewing the video. Hope you have a very nice day.